So do you all remember back in the fall when the Minecraft trailer first came out and how everybody just shit on it? Like just ripped it to shreds because of the casting, the actors, the CGI, everything about it was just picked to pieces. Now ask yourself, did it really deserve it? Stay until the end of the video to find out.
So similar to the many people watching this video, we grew up playing Minecraft. We started back in 2014, which is the early days, but also late in the game relative to when it came out. It actually wasn't cool for quite a while when it came out, but eventually I got my first PS4 and I downloaded that thing and I got hooked right off the bat. So there was some rightful hesitation from us going into this movie to see this video game adaptation, something we grew up and really liked. We didn't want it to be screwed up. But then we learned that this movie was directed by Jared Hess, which growing up, we both really loved Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. So two very famous movies that he directed, two very hilarious movies. So now I'm kind of excited to see what a Minecraft movie is directed by Jared Hess, because that is not a combination I thought would ever exist. Let us know when you started playing Minecraft too. Let us know in the comments. We want to hear from all of you. I'm so curious when each of you started playing this game that seems to never die.
All right, so we have a lot to get through, so we're going to start as soon as possible.
The story follows Steve trying to prevent the piglins from taking over the overworld. I love the idea of the piglins being the main antagonist in this movie. And I like that because it ties in the Nether, which is known as being like the bad place. And it also includes a lot more of the actual lore within Minecraft by including a couple characters that you don't actually see in the main game. This movie allowed the audience to feel very engaged. It felt like I was actually joining a Minecraft server from a friend of mine and he was just showing me his world and where he stashes his diamonds. There's also a really good impromptu music scene from Jack Black in this where you don't know the lyrics for the song, but he does such an amazing job at creating such a simple song that even the audience that I was involved with knew exactly what the next word was gonna be in his song. Like it was incredibly engaging and very thrilling.
So there's a lot to like about the story, but there are a couple things that just didn't quite mesh for me. A couple of the characters, specifically the female characters, don't really have a lot to do in the story. You kind of are led to believe that they're going to go off and have their own kind of side adventure that doesn't really happen, which I think is a missed opportunity. However, I don't think anybody was miscast. I think everybody brought their own personality to their characters and was able to portray a good sense of realism for a kids movie. It was pretty good. Specifically, Jason Momoa and Jack Black went all in on their characters. It was like a true bromance between those two. Like they had met beforehand, shook hands, had this agreement that, hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to go all the way. Because if they decided to not at any point, it was going to lose the magic and it was going to end up cringy or just kind of painful to watch. Luckily, they stuck to their guns and they pulled it off. I really enjoyed both performances throughout the entire film.
The CGI was the root cause of the online hate. Some primary things were that people really wanted it to look 100% like Minecraft. They didn't want any sort of interpretation at all. And granted, after having seen the movie, there definitely are some things you can be critical about. There are some things that I'm even critical about. But as a whole, this looks like Minecraft. Some of the things that I'm critical about are the villagers look a little creepy to me. I'll be honest, maybe that's just me, but there's something about them that just, their face, it gets a little round at the bottom. It's weird. I don't know. Something bothered me about that, but that's subjective. And some of the blocks in Minecraft, they chose to be a little bit more rounded edge, a little bit softer, which is just not consistent with the game. But that's just an artistic choice because not all blocks were like that. Some blocks that were made out of stone, very sharp edges. So I think the texture related to the overall art style choice. You also see the baby zombie. What's that called again, Nick?
Chicken jockey.
Chicken jockey. it does this like mean, scary face, but it has like perfectly white, straight teeth, just nice and clean. I was like, you could make those sharp and like maybe yellowy or something. It's a zombie, but it's a children's movie made for all ages, like 2-year-olds. You don't want to completely scare them. So I can understand where some of the stylistic choice came from, because you have to cater to your audience. That brings me to the positive side of the CGI. Like I said a moment ago, it looks like Minecraft. They zoom out, show you the village, you see the landscape. That looks like Minecraft. I think overall they did a fantastic job. It's basically Minecraft with an additional shader on top of it to allow for some interpretation, which many people do when playing Minecraft, and yet no one complains that it doesn't look like Minecraft. They do it because they're tired of how Minecraft looks and that they want to improve it. That's what this movie did. It's just a texture pack. And there were some issues with, I think, green screen areas where the actors didn't seem to quite know what they were looking at or where the enemy was. And those can be a bit obvious, but it wasn't so distracting that it completely took me out of the movie. It's challenging when you're just looking at a green screen and you're supposedly supposed to have all these enemies around you, and they haven't decided exactly where those enemies are yet.
We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post. And Weta is the main production company for the CGI in this film, and you have to trust Weta for everything that they're worth because they are the best CGI company in the world. They did a really good job of blending in the reality, the real props, the real people within this imaginary world, within this CGI world. In fact, a lot of the props that they used looked really, really good, especially the swords. I want one of those swords. I've never wanted a Minecraft sword, but they were pretty sweet. So overall, I don't think the initial criticism of the CGI that we had way back in fall when the trailer was released was actually deserving of it. I like the artistic choices that they made, and I thought they made really good choices to fit a children's movie.
And at the end of the day, that is what it is. This is a kid's movie. It's not made for teenagers or early 20-somethings to go in and be like, yeah, Minecraft. It's made for kids. And that's something to keep in mind as you're watching the movie. I took my kids to the movie and they had a blast. They were quoting things from the trailer. They were just having a fun time. And as an adult going there, you're going to get the humor. There is adult humor that's going to go right over your kids' heads. It's going to make you bust out laughing. But this is for Gen Alpha. It's their turn to have the kids' movies catered to them. And I think that some people just want to hate. I've already seen a ton of YouTube reviews saying, oh, it's the worst movie I've ever seen. Like, what the fuck was that movie? And blah, blah, blah. They're just rage baiting. That's all it is. You come to us for honest reviews, and we're going to give it to you honestly and unbiased, which is why I recommend that you do go see this movie. I had a really great time. I was smiling and laughing and catching myself off guard with how much I was really enjoying this movie. Once I found out it was a Jared Hess film and I was like, Nacho Libre, Napoleon Dynamite, heck yeah, let's go. It was good. It was really fun.
I too strongly recommend that you go see this in theaters. It's actually something that's worth going to see. It's hilarious, and I almost feel like you are understating that part of it. I was cracking up laughing at the beginning of this movie and asking myself, I was like, oh, shoot, am I gonna like this movie now? It is nonstop laughter. There is plenty of adult humor in this movie too. 100%, even if you're just an adult, don't have kids, go see this movie. It's a really entertaining movie. Which is why I'm also going to give this movie a 7 out of 10, which is an incredibly solid score on my scale. As you remember, a 5 out of 10 is middle of the pack, so this is exceeding some expectations. One of those is the soundtrack. They open up with that OG Minecraft music, and oh man, does that just hit you and just feel good right off the bat. And then blended it in with a more symphonic version of it. Really, really, really good. So overall, just I'm very pleased with this movie.
It's actually really interesting that you say that, because I also give it a 7 out of 10. We do these scores completely away from each other.
We have
our
two
own
different
systems for
two
'em.
different systems, and somehow we still can get kind of aligned. So that's pretty cool.
We still end up aligned. I think critics have been way too harsh on this movie. I think it respected the source material. It respected all the great content creators that came through and helped build Minecraft be what it is. It had a tribute to Technoblade in there, which was really meaningful to me and to my eldest son.
Oh, so
who
cool.
watched him so much. And to see him in there and for Jack Black to say, you know, that's a legend is really, really cool. They didn't have to do that. Not everybody's going to get that reference, but to have that in there shows that they really cared. You could tell that at least Jack Black and Jason Momoa have played the game. They knew what was going on. They were respectful. They didn't completely redesign everything. It all made sense. It is very much Minecraft. You can't go wrong going to see it.
Now, super quick, before you click off this video, because we're going to ask you to like and subscribe, which please like and subscribe, by the way, there is an upside down camera angle in this movie, which brings our total for 2025 to 4. Kind of a slow start for 2025, to be honest. I thought we would be hitting this off a little bit more, but it is what it is. Thank you for liking and subscribing. We just hit 10,000 recently. You're the best. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And remember, we're just two regular dudes
Doing regular reviews.
You only have like 20 more seconds until I get really frustrated for no reason. As my dad's.
You're good.
He's
Yeah.
giving
He can probably see me, right?
Yeah. He was waiting for you. I think he was waiting for you to do a thumbs up. He left, right?